Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka The Weather Gamer, bringing you Week 11 recap and Week 12 pick'ems of WWC. I am not alone. Once again, I am joined by Cameruption.
What? Oh.
Are you there? Okay, I think Cam...
Yes.
Are you there? You seem to be breaking up a little bit.
Oh, what about now? Is this better?
Yes, that is much better. No more robot. So,
Robot?
yeah, no more robot. We're good. So, anyways, nobody dropped out. We're good there. We don't have to worry about that. Nobody made transactions this week, so no transactions to talk about. So we'll do the power rankings, we'll do the pick'ems, we'll do the kill leaderboard, and then we'll talk about playoffs, because playoff picture is starting to solidify here with the end of the season approaching. Not a lot of changes in power rankings this week. Mama is still in last, 1-9, minus 32, sitting in 16th position. Don't have the doc pulled up, so I don't remember what I mentioned in my power rankings here. I know she played an incredibly good game, like it was close for...
It was one of her much better games.
Yeah. I think I just mentioned something about in D-League, let's get stuff that's not so predictable. Like, if she...
That sounds right.
Like, Zygarde definitely... I think if she hadn't tried to go for her subs with Zygarde, when there was no chance the sub was living, she might have been able to do a little more damage, but I don't know. This part of the season's where it's really like slow and there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, I think my top three have been the same pretty much.
Yeah, you roboted again there for a second. It's going to be Return of the Robots. I can see it coming. Nikki falling 2-8, minus 22, down to 15th. One of the few moves that was changed. Nikki just got hammered by rain. He had no hurricane switch in. Part of that is my fault because I helped him build and I didn't really have a good hurricane switch in for him. His team doesn't, even the mons he didn't bring, doesn't really have a hurricane switch in because Togedemaru just gets heat waved instead. And yeah, it's just that was a game that was unwinnable. A 6-0 sucks. Like, it really does. I've been on a Dragoon 6-0, but there wasn't much to be done there.
Was it Specs Tornadoes as well?
Pretty sure it was Specs Tornadoes, yeah.
That did so much damage, it was crazy.
He had nothing for it. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Mudsdale was his best answer, and it got crit. So, yeah, and unfortunately, Nikki has forfeited his last two matches, so you're probably going to see Nikki drop to 16th next week. Just a pre-heads up. There's no point in finding a replacement because, yeah, he's not in
2 weeks left.
Yeah, 2 weeks left and you're not guaranteed playoffs. Like, Nikki officially got eliminated from playoffs because of this. So, yeah, we'll just see if Nikki regroups next season, either in main or D-League. Ixie and his Phantumps 2-8, minus 24, moving up a spot mainly because Nikki got 6-0'd and then forfeited the remainder. He played better than Nikki, but I don't know. There wasn't really much he could do. It's Slick and his surging comeback. Like, 8 did stuff, but not enough.
That was in my analysis of that game. Like, Infernape brought it back, but couldn't quite get there.
I don't know if it's your end or my end, but man, are you like roboting for a bit there? Yeah, you're roboting
I got
again.
the green.
I got the green as well, so I don't know. It just, something's off, but oh well. I ran into the buzzsaw that is Crimson. I prepped for all of his big threats, and he brought none of them. He whooped me with Musharna, which he had, and Ambipom, which he hadn't brought all season. I'm officially done. 3-7 minus 11. I'm sitting in the basement eating cookies with the rest of the elimination crew. I mean, last season I almost didn't make playoffs. We had, I don't know if you know him, Fizzle the Hizzle. He was a part of the league for 6 weeks and then dropped out because he got done with Mons, and I flipped because his replacement never showed up, except a one match. I ended up just forfeiting every match that team had played, which gave me a win, which put me into playoffs. But I didn't realize that until somebody pointed it out to me after I'd already done it. But yeah, I can't even make playoffs in my own league that I commissioned. At least I've got one more win than I did in APA, so progress.
Slow and steady.
Very slow and steady. Again, not a lot of change. Spare is still sitting at... I forgot to update these. Still sitting at 12th at 4-6. I gotta pull his differential here because I updated Matthias, but I didn't update the rest of them on here. Spare, of course. Spare, where are you? Come here. He lost this week, right? I can't keep track anymore with all the matches that have been played today.
He lost to...
Yeah, okay. He lost to Rye, and that was a critical loss for him.
Yeah, like, he's not, like, mathematically eliminated or anything, but it's not looking good.
Well, and the other problem is Shadow controls his fate. Like, if Shadow just wanted to let Rye win, if Rye wins against Damien, then basically all Shadow has to do is let Rye win by X differential greater than Spare, and Rye's in, and depending on how Huff finishes, Rye could take the 3 seed, and then they won't have to play back-to-back weeks. It's a terrible position for Spare to be sitting in. No matter what you do, you don't don't control your own destiny. And it really sucks because, like, he has a very good team and, like, he played well. He just couldn't handle Rye, who has done nothing but decimate people since he got into the league.
Yeah, Rye scares me. He's such a good battler. You beat him in APA off the roll, like...
Did you is he on your team for APA, or is he on a... I know he's not on mine.
On Aurora's. I think.
You're on Shy's team, aren't you?
I'm on Shy's, you're on SV, he's on Aurora.
Oh, boy. Have fun with that.
But I have his Armaldo this season, so it's all good.
Yeah, you also have my Polytoad.
And your Rain.
Yeah, I know. I recorded the draft recap for that earlier, and yeah, I'm not happy about that. Still, I wish I had my Rain. But anyways, that doesn't matter. WWC here. Damien lost again. I don't know what that makes for him. Is it, 5-game lose streak now? Something like that. Damien, where are you? DWS. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-game lose streak for him. From being in control of his playoff destiny to losing. He's basically done at this point. He played Shadow incredibly hard. Like, Shadow has only been...
He came really close.
Slick took Shadow to a 2-0, Huff took Shadow to a 2-0, and Damien took him to a 2-0. And then Dragoon was a 3-0. But otherwise, like, Shadow's average margin of victory until this match was a 4-0, which is insane. And Damien took him down to a 2-0. You gotta respect that. It just... Unfortunately, he didn't have enough damage on Aegislash to finish it.
And that's kind of a common thing this week I'm seeing, like, sort of like how it was like, Infernape wasn't the same thing here with Damien's Excadrill.
Yeah, well, also, if his Rotom had been Rocky Helmet, like, instead of lefties, it might have made a difference. I haven't done the calcs exactly to see if the lefties allowed Damien to take another hit on Rotom, but had it been Rocky Helmet, that extra 12% would have been just enough for Excadrill to finish it. And Aegislash would have gone down.
That would have been clutch.
And I think he won at that point. Once Aegislash went down, he had the win. But just didn't have enough chip. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Thriller in the Iowa Jolteon, 5-5 minus 11, getting the hammer dropped on them by Saber. 4-0 loss. So 5-0 to Rye, a 4-0 to Saber, and before he left, Savage got 5-0'd by Shadow. Pretty much has sunk his chances. Phone, why you do this? I thought I had you on silent. It pretty much has sunk his chances. I mean, mathematically, he's still alive, but I just don't see a way around it with him having to play Clem still.
I think it's sort of like the fair situation. Mathematically possible, but he's going to be at the mercy of other people.
Oh, he's definitely at the mercy of other people because he has to have Saber beat Matthias. He has to beat both of them, and then has to have Slick, because Slick's involved in this too. Slick would have to lose to both me and Crimson. That's the only way.
Actually, yeah, I just now looked at how bad it's going.
Yeah, at minus 11, that is the only way he can do it. So, I'm pretty...
Literally the best he can do is 1.
Yeah, the best he can be is 7-5 plus 1, which, if I remember correctly, would put... Let's see here, weak standings. That would put him maybe... Technically, the 2 seed is still available to him. Because if Saber gets double 6-0'd, then Matthias moves up, because Matthias would win that one. Yeah, he's really got almost no chance at this point.
That's looking pretty dire.
Yeah, he's in some trouble. Matthias is also in trouble. He's actually the 5th seed right now in that conference, dropping 2 spots down to 9th, 5-5 plus 0. He had control of this and then gave it away to Slick. I don't know what's wrong with Matthias. He seems to be flaming out right at the end of this season. I don't know.
Kind of weird, because I know he did pretty much the same thing in APA.
Yeah,
and he started pretty strong and finished 5-7 or something.
Yeah, and he this is completely the opposite of what happened to him season 1, because season 1 he came out of the gate stumbling and then ended up winning 7 out of his last 9 and taking control to get into playoffs. So, I don't know. I don't like some of what he brought this week either.
And that was just, I think I mentioned that in my power rankings. One week to ice.
Yeah, and Suicune and Buzzwole basically just ran through him with ice moves, didn't it? So, I don't know. Matthias has got to win. He's got to beat Saber, or he's basically done, because Slick wins. Matthias can't make up the differential if Slick wins. Yeah. All Slick has to do is win, and he's in. I'm pretty sure at this point, but we'll look at that when we get there. So, speaking of Slick, he moved up to 8th, up one spot, 5-5 plus 8. He played. What did he play? WWC. Really, he's 4th seed. He's got a fight with Matthias. But I don't know. He's been on a surge lately, other than his little hiccup.
Rain.
Yeah, his hiccup to Rain, which, I mean, you look at what Dragon has done this season, everyone's slipping up to Rain for the most part.
So the thing about Slick is that he's doing really well right now. But the thing he has to be careful with is that his next game is against Crimson.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at his potential playoff matches. He still has to play. He could potentially rematch with Clem, who he lost to. He lost to the Luxrays when they were still under Savage's team. So, like, hopefully he's learned from those, but yeah. I mean, it's pretty much he's in unless Matthias, like, gets a lot of traction, because he's got to play me still. And odds are he beats me. He just needs one out of his next 2 and he's in, but I don't know. We'll see. He and Rye are competing for the biggest comebacks, because Rye took over a 1-5 squad and has now won 4 straight, and Slick took over and lost his first 4 before running 5-1.
He started 0-3 or 0-4. I can't remember.
He was 0-4 and he's gone 5-1 since.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking of Rye knocked off the reigning champion on a solid 3-0. Like Shadow and I talked about last week, this game was do or die for these two. Like, one of them wasn't going to make it out of here if they lost, and it looks like it's going to be Spare. Rye just had almost every answer he needed this game. Like, I don't know. Rye, you said it earlier, Rye scares you. Rye scares me. I've only ever beaten him once, and that was Hacks.
Yeah, he's a good player. Like, that the original coach drafted was good. It just wasn't used well. So seeing Rye get a chance to use a team like that is really scary.
Yeah, Rye definitely shouldn't have. Like, it's no offense to Garen, but this just shows that Garen had a good team. It's more his skill level, so that's why hopefully Garen will come back for the D-League, because then he can learn how to use these, and then he can pull off a Ryan and just destroy everybody. Huff, 6-4 plus 1, now sitting in 6th position. He didn't move. He did lose to Dragoon. Again, everybody seems to be losing to Dragoon for the most part. I think if he had... there was a turn where he had Zera Aura in, and if he had clicked Plasma Fists over the move he had clicked, I think he would have ended up winning that game. But because he still has to play Nikki by virtue of Nikki forfeiting out the season, Huff is clinched, I think, at this point. I don't see any way he doesn't clinch, but not 100% certain. I'd have to have our mathematician board run the numbers for me.
Yeah. I mentioned in the Discord that or maybe it was just he had basically cleansed.
Yeah, you are roboting so hard right now.
I just noticed that.
The robots are back. Are you getting an echo?
Oh, you just cut out.
Are you getting an echo?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I now understand why everyone's getting an echo when I do voice calls, so... Okay.
That's weird. I don't know, Discord is weird.
No, it's not so much Discord, it's how I record, because I'm talking into my mic, which is feeding into Discord, which you're hearing, but then when you talk, it's coming out of my speaker, which is pointed at my mic, and then, so basically you're talking to me while talking to yourself, and OBS is only recording me talking, and then you talking through my microphone, so it doesn't get the echo effect. It's weird. I don't know.
That sounds crazy.
But
I am not very technologically savvy, as you've seen every time I try to record.
I am not either. Have you seen me try to stream? I'm not tech savvy. Anyways, Clem has picked up a win. He's back on the win streak now after that weird hiccup he had in the middle of the season. Clem played... See, because I've had to record these on Sundays, I've forgotten most of what happened in the week. Just... Next week I'll be able to record, though. Matthias. Right? Yeah, he played Matthias.
He played Matthias.
Yeah, he
just clicked ice moves and won.
Yeah, just click ice moves and win. He basically sunk Matthias' season there, but we'll see. Everyone has told me... Or there was one person, I had Buzzwall on my team one time, and everybody told me that helped me rebuild that team. Like, Buzzwall's not that good. It's not a defensive mon. It's easy to beat. I call bull. Buzzwall is annoying as all crap. It is bulky. It's hard to take down. I don't like it. Ugh. And
Buzzwall is one of those mons where, like, it's sort of like maybe like a Bulu or a Zygarde or a Heatran, where it's like, it's kind of hard to use. How to use it really well, it's really hard to beat.
Yeah. Moving into our top four, there were no changes in the top four. London Luxrays. Saber is now 7-3 plus 12. He hasn't clinched the division yet because Clem could still, in theory, clinch it. But I believe he's punched his playoffs. No, he hasn't even punched a playoff spot because that division is 7, 5, and 5. A win should...
He could, I guess, theoretically have the lowest differential out of 7-5 teams.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because if he got double 6-0'd, he'd be at 0. And trying to think here... he's got to play Clem and Matthias. So if he got double 6-0'd, Matthias would be at +6 to his 0. If Thriller were to win out, he'd be +1. And Clem, in theory, Clem could... Where is Clem? There's Clem. Clem's only +3, so... It's sketchy. Again, this is all like super hypothetical. It's pretty much his.
He's almost certainly in.
Yeah, it's pretty much his division to lose at this point. The real question is, can he get the 1 seed pride away from Crimson or not? Because Crimson is now 7-3 plus 20. He's the conference leader. He has officially clinched his spot by eliminating me. He now has a 2-game win over Slick. I believe, yeah, it's 2 games over Slick. He didn't clinch the division. He clinched his playoff spot because Slick could still, in theory, win the division. Because if Slick's at +8, there's only a 12 differential swing. So if Slick 6-0's me and 6-0's Crimson, and Crimson somehow loses 6-0 to Lord Ixie, that would put them tied, and Slick would have the head-to-head win. But basically, it's Crimson's division to lose at this point. Like, he's got the division locked down. And he's got +8 differential for the number 1 seed. So it's pretty much Crimson's to lose at this point. Dragoon did clinch his division. I do know that for a fact. That should be correct that he clinched his division, even with Huff getting the forfeit win. Actually, he didn't. He didn't clinch the division.
Yeah, because Huff is
Huff could.
4.
Yeah, if Huff wins 2 and Dragoon loses 2, granted Dragoon's got to play Mama still. And actually, they play this week, don't they? No, no. He did clinch. Did he clinch the division?
I don't know, all these playoff races.
He has clinched the division because of his differential. Even if because it goes record differential head to head for the tiebreakers, and so because he's +25 and Huff is +1, he's got +24 on Huff, and they play this week, right? Yeah, they play this week. So even if Huff wins, if he 6-0's Dragoon, and but he picks up a 3-0 from Nikki, so he's only going to gain 9 differential. And the most that Dragoon could lose is 12. Yeah, Dragoon's got his division clinched. So
yeah, he's won.
Yeah, he's won that one. He's locked into the 2 seed. Yeah, he's locked into the 2 because Shadow's locked down the 1 on that side. So it's really a race between Huff, Spare, Rye, and maybe Damien, but I'll pull that over and we'll look at it in a little bit. And of course, then Shadow sitting in first as he's done pretty much all season, 10-0 +38, waiting for the day he loses, but we'll see. Rye's about the best shot, I think, at him winning or losing a game at this point, but I don't know.
I think so.
So going into pick'ems here, I gotta pull that tab up. There we go. We have myself versus the Philadelphia Phantoms and Lord Ixie. I obviously don't get a pick on this one, but looks like everybody but Shadow. I think that's Shadow. Yeah, everyone but Shadow went for me, so I don't know why, but I guess they think I can beat Lord Ixie. Why'd you pick me?
I mean, it's no secret that, like, both of y'all are struggling. The game really doesn't affect playoffs in any way, but you're, like, slightly better, like, when you're in your element.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't pull a Nikki and forfeit my last 2 games is, 1, I could still keep Slick out of playoffs, which might be kind of fun to do, and 2, I would like to get my win-loss up if possible, and my differential up, because I track my stats from every league, and I'm like, I think I'm 24 and 48 minus 60 something at this point, so I'm not gonna drop my last 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm 24 and 36 minus 64. Yeah, 24 and 36 minus 64. I need, and I'm minus 11 in here. Like, I need to drop a couple 6-0s and make that minus 63. But anyways, Portland Trail Blazekins and Crimson versus Slick. Everybody but me went for Crimson. I went Slick just because I smell an upset. It's been a while since I called one, but maybe Slick gets the win here and puts the pressure on Crimson for that division crown. I don't know. I'm reaching.
It's better than the time I predicted an upset against Shadow.
Yeah, we all learned that. I think you were the last one to pick against Shadow, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna go look and see who the last person it was that picked against Shadow.
It was me for the time we played Savage.
Was that the last time someone picked against him? Where are you, Shadow? PLG. Yeah, well, I also did that, so I guess technically we're the last two to... we both did it. We both didn't learn. Rai versus Damien. Rai wins this. He's basically put a stranglehold on the 4th seed, and Damien's gone if he loses this one. Everyone picked Rai. I know Damien's a good battler, but Rai's just on another level.
So I'm going to be completely 100% honest. The matchup too much. This game, I just kind of like looked at momentum. Rai, who's on like an absolute tear, and then Damien.
Yeah, well, and that's just from the coaching matchup. From the actual matchup, what's Damien's answer for Steela outside of Electros or Rotom? Which Rotom gets Giga Drained to death.
A whole lot.
So it's not going to be good. We have Spare versus Shadow. As much as I want to pick Spare, I have to go Shadow. I've learned. I've been duped too many times. Shadow has not been able to be stopped. And, I mean, as the season wore on, like, Spare was looking about to be the only one before Rai got here that I thought stood a chance, but I just don't think the Season 1 champion's going to stand up to the probably Season 2 champion, to be perfectly honest.
It'll be probably game of the week in terms of, like, the hype or closeness of the battle, but, like, yeah, unfortunately for Spare, like, nothing against him, but I just don't think he'll be able to do it.
It's also, like, Shadow...
God, I'm roboting hard.
Yeah, Shadow dictates his playoff person. Like, he dictates who gets the 4th seed. If he beats Spare, he takes Spare out but puts Rai into the 4th seed. If he decides to lose to Rai, depending on what happens with Huff, he could put Huff in the 4th seed and get to play Huff instead of having to play Rai.
Hang on, you're roboting for me.
I'm gonna try and bounce servers real quick.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying to see if I can get mine back up and running.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty here. I'm trying to bounce off of a different server. Alright, I'm going to disconnect the call real quick and try and pick up the call on a different server. Give me 1 second, guys. I know we're right at the end and we're having some difficulties, but I'm going to see if I can't ping off of a different server.
Hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I can hear you. I'm going to try shutting Discord down to see if I can get this to work. Discord, open up. Okay. Why are you not letting me do this? Okay. I need to get editing software. Like, with my tax return, I need to do that. Okay. I lost my connection to Discord. Hang on, I'm trying. I'm gonna send Alteria a message here that I got. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Cool.
You can hear me? Oh man, why is this happening?
Are you saying something right now? Are you?
I'm talking right now, currently, yes. Can you hear me? I'm talking right now.
Yes, I can hear you right now.
Okay. God, that took... I don't know what's going on here. I flipped back to my computer's Wi-Fi instead of my...
You can hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Okay, so we were on Spare versus Shadow, which we talked about. Try flipping back real quick. Okay, are we good? Camera option, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry guys, this has been a pain in the butt. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but it's definitely my end, not his. So San Diego Togekiss versus the Saber and the Lux Rays. Saber is going to clinch the division with a win here. Matthias, if he loses, is basically done. I think everybody except Board went with Saber, and it's no offense to Matthias. I just, with the way you've been skidding here at the end of the season, I think Saber wins here, locks down the division, and basically allows Slick to clinch into playoffs.
That's pretty much what I was thinking as well.
Iowa Jolteon versus White Force.
He's just something about Matthias. He's just not finishing a season well.
Yeah. Iowa Jolteon versus the White Forest Weedle. I think everybody went Clem. I gotta flip back and look at this here. Oh no, we didn't get to pick because they played this match already. I forgot about that. They played and released it before we got our pick'ems in. Yeah, so Clem ended up winning this one. I was gonna pick Clem anyways, but of course I'll say
Probably
that.
would have too.
Of course I'll say that because Clem won, but that I believe did eliminate Thriller from playoff contention then.
Yeah.
So he's out. If Saber wins, then Clem probably can't get the division, I don't think. They still have to play, though, week 13, but we'll talk about that next week. Lemonish versus Nikki. Nikki forfeited. I probably would have picked Nikki to win, though. But yeah, he forfeited, so not much to talk there. Dragoon versus Huff. This is huge for Huff to try and take the division potentially, but everyone went with Dragoon because Rain's gonna sweep.
The only thing I can see in the matchup that Huff would have going for him is Swiss Swim Seismitoad. That can be a set, but
Swift Swim Special Seismitoad with HP Grass. Something like that. That could work. So as far as league standings go, Crimson locked in his playoff spot. He's clinched. There's no way he can't make playoffs at this point. With his differential, there's no way that Matthias could make up enough ground on him to catch him. We're looking at him potentially being the 1. Saber is threatening for the 1 right now. Saber is the 2. Clem is the 3. And Slick is the 4 with Matthias chasing. Jolteon's myself, and Phantom's eliminated. Slick loses to Crimson. Crimson will clinch the division and probably the 1 seed. Saber beats Matthias, and Matthias is basically done with Saber clinching probably the 2 seed. Clem has a chance to get the 2 seed, but what's gonna be weird is if the divisions hold, or the standings hold the way they are. Crimson and Slick are playing this week, and then they'll play again in 2 weeks for round 1, and you'd see Saber and Clem play next week, or week 13, and then they'd play again the following week.
That's kind of weird when you have like division rivals play each other, like, and then right again in the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's almost like potentially if they hold that way, it'd be better for Saber and Clem just not to play their match. Almost like it seemed like if with playoffs being clinched, it'd almost be better for one of them to just forfeit. And then
just have a mean match or something.
Yeah, do something. On the Indigo side, though, we have Shadow, who's clinched the 1 seed and clinched his division. Dragoon, who has clinched his playoff spot. Huff, by virtue of the forfeit win he's going to pick up versus Nikki in Week 13, has clinched his playoff spot, which leaves the 4th seed open to Spare, Rye, or Damien. Right now, Shadow basically controls what he wants to do, and if Dragoon wins, he's locked into the 2 seed. It's really Shadow's call as to what happens on Indigo's side. He gets to dictate terms. He can pick the 4th seed if he loses to Spare, and then Spare beats Damien, and he blows out Rye, then he gets to play Spare as the 4 seed. If he beats Spare and then decides to lose to Rye, bad enough that Huff would have the worst differential, then he'd play Huff in the 4 seed. Or if he wants to play Rye in the 4th seed, he just beats Rye. If Spare loses and to him this week, then he just beats Rye, and Rye's locked into the 4th seed, and they got to play back-to-back weeks again. Again, this is
nice. He can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's got total control of Indigo's side. Like, he gets to dictate his march towards the championship.
Like, he can literally throw a game if he wants, maybe even 2 games, so that he winds up playing the person in playoffs he has the best matchups against.
I mean,
he wanted to.
We haven't seen what happens between him and Rye, but Huff did take him to a 2-0.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he necessarily wants to play Huff again and get taken to a 2-0. Dragoon is not going to let him Toxic stall him again. Like, now that Shadow has done that, Dragoon's going to come hyper offensive or try to stall Shadow out instead. Like, you know that's not happening again, and we haven't seen him play Spare, and we saw him play Damien, and Damien took him close. So it's not like he gets to freely choose his round 1 so he can get to round 2. But he's...
That's fair.
Yeah. Because regardless of what he does, he's going to run into either Dragoon or Rye eventually. Because if he doesn't take Rye on round 1, then Rye and Dragoon will end up playing each other if they're the two that make it in. So he's got to play one of them in semis. If he takes on Rye in the quarters and gets past him, and assuming Dragoon wins versus Huff, he's going to have to play Dragoon. That's not an enviable side to have to play on. His best bet is...
I really want to see Shadow versus Dragoon in playoffs. That's going to be a fun grudge match.
Yeah, his best bet is almost to let Rye beat him if it gets to that point. His best bet's almost to let Rye beat him, force Rye and Dragoon to play each other, and then take on Huff round 1. Because that's putting the two people that really, really can challenge him together right off the bat.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Next week we'll have probably another short one because I don't see any transactions being made right before playoffs. Most of us are out of transactions. Nikki's already forfeited matches. There's potential that if people lose this week, they might forfeit their matches because their matches mean nothing. So maybe a short one. We'll see. We'll definitely break down the playoff picture after that, though, because we should have some clarity going into week 3. We should see a lot of these races lock themselves up, finish things up. I mean, Indigo's pretty much done. They have one slot between 3 coaches, and again, if Rye beats Damien, it's over for Damien, so it'd be 1 slot for 2 coaches. But yeah, that's gonna be it.
Yep.
I want to thank you, Cameruption, for joining today. Definitely,
no problem.
Definitely, always, even though we had technical difficulties, it's definitely always fun to do this with somebody else. Guys, please go check out his YouTube. It'll be linked in the description down below, as always. Go check out Shadow's YouTube. His will be linked down there. Board doesn't have anything down there anymore. Go check out Griffin Feather's Twitter. He's the one that does all the amazing artwork for me. Twitch, like I said, I'll get back to Twitch streaming. Just didn't today. And Discord, Weather Gamer Discord. That's where the WWC is moving to at the end of this season. So that's how you can go and spectate there. But again, please go check out Cameruption. Thank you for joining me. We're going to get out of here. See you guys next time.